tactical troops, air landing of reconnaissance and sabotage groups, and destruction of ground objects. The helicopter can be operated for medical evacuation purposes, firefighting roles, provision of search and rescue missions in combat conditions, tactical insertion and extraction of troops, and helicopter gathering support roles. What we are witnessing now is a tactical insertion of the Special Forces via fast route.
Operations of a command post and the firepower capability of the battle group. The purpose of today's demonstration is to enable you gain an understanding of how the battle group during operations exceeds the sum of its parts. The exercise will also demonstrate a wide variety of capabilities and equipment found in a battle group and how they might be organized. Today's exercise is aimed at achieving the following objectives: an understanding of the Ghana Army's concept of operations and capability, the nature of the land environment, the tactical framework of find, fix, strike, and exploit, and the geographical framework of deep, close, and rear operations. We'll also look at the time and space involved in operating at the battle group level, and we'll expose you some major equipment in a battle group. The sequence of activities is as follows. We'll have 5 phases, with phase 1 being the presentation we are having now. Phase 2 will be a tour of the battle group command post and a display of some weapons available to the battle group. Phase 3 will be a static display of the battle group components and equipment. Phase 4 will be the actual battle play in the field. And the phase 5 will be debriefing for you students. The aim of this presentation is to give you a background to the battle group concept and its tactical employment in defense. The presentation will cover the following: the battle group concept, command post organization. You will then have an orientation to the battle space by my intelligence officer, after which I would introduce you to the general and special idea for today's battle play and the sequence of the battle play itself. Now, a look at the battle group concept. The combined arms approach to conducting warfare is a doctrinally established tactical concept. In modern warfare, an all-arms cooperation is of the greatest importance as it makes the best use of available resources in terms of men, weapons, and equipment. The aim is to come up with a properly balanced force for operations. The process of regrouping the individual capabilities or assets in terms of combat arms and services is known as task organization. The end product of this regrouping at the battle group level is the battle group. At the company level is referred to as combat team. The aim is to gain synergy and maximize the strength of the various units. Now, for you students, understand that as a battalion commander or as a battalion, when you are going into combat, you are going to have other assets beyond your organic access, such as the fighter ground attack elements, the naval gun fire, artillery, and you need to reorganize them to ensure their effective and efficient employment to achieve your mission. Now, a look at the command post organization. A command post is organized to suit its role the resources available and the tactical situation. It can be sited in a tent, the back of vehicles, armored personnel carriers, helicopters, bunkers, or buildings. The command post is organized into the following functional cells. We have the operation cell, intelligence cell, fire support coordinating cell, and the orderly room. Now a look at the cells in detail. The operation cell. The operation cell is mainly manned by the operations officer who controls the battle group command net and the rear links. He is assisted by the officers, by the duty officers or watchkeepers who receive operational information and pass it on to the commanding officer to enable him make decisions on the battle. It is from here that the commanding officer exercises command and control when he is not with the rover group. I am sure after the first lecture, by now you know who the operations officer in this case will be. The intelligence cell. This is manned by the intelligence officer and he receives information from the company's patrols and higher headquarters, processes them into intelligence to enable the commander make timely decisions on the battlefield. Next is the fire support coordinating cell. The fire support coordinating cell is manned by the battery commander or the mortar platoon commander, who coordinates all indirect fire, air support, and air defense resources, as well as the naval gunfire assets available to the battle group. Normally, fire support coordination will be fully integrated into the operation cell, but if the fire support resources available are considerable, then you have a separate coordinating cell known as the fire support coordinating cell. When you get into the field, you'll be hearing OSG. OSG is just grouping these assets together in one group for efficient coordination and employment. The message or orderly room. That's the message center or orderly room. This is manned by the adjutant and it provides clerical and staff administrative support to the commander. He is assisted by the chief clerk. The basic routine in the command post is to receive information, analyze the information into intelligence, make recommendations for the commander to make his decisions. Once decisions are made, the command post passes that information down to the companies, up to the higher headquarters, and also to the flanking units when necessary. The command post also integrates and synchronizes resources to ensure their efficient and effective employment. Now let's look at the principles for siting a command post or an headquarters. The basic principles that guide the siting of a command post are command and control, cover and concealment, dispersion, and protection. Now let's look at the principles one at a time. Command and control. The command post is the nerve center where the commander exercises command. Command and control of the battle group depends on reliable communication. Hence, the chosen site must allow for easy communication to the forward companies, the rear, the brigade headquarters, and other units such as flanking units. The location should also not be too close to the front line and not too far from the front line as well. Next is cover and concealment. Command posts or headquarters are high priority targets and are often selected as enemy artillery or aircraft targets. The site for such a facility must therefore provide for good concealment from the air and ground observation. Next is dispersion. Dispersion is needed to minimize the effect of enemy attack on the headquarters. The area selected must be large enough to allow for easy dispersion without compromising control.
The right carry his spare money. He also carries his large pack, which he carries his spare clothing and other items he needs in the field. The right command uses all the available firing positions. These are the the lying position, sitting position, kneeling position, squatting position, and the standing position. Let us listen to the firepower of the rifleman. That was the firepower of the rifleman. The rifleman does not only fire single rounds. Using a bipod or firing from his hip, he can also fire rapid or automatic fire. Let us listen to the rapid firepower of the rifleman. That was the rapid firepower of the rifleman. Let us also listen to the automatic firepower of the rifleman. That was the automatic firepower of the
Waters, the directing staff, senior officers, the four sergeant major, command sergeant majors, the men, women, and a few civilian employees who are with us here. The brothers and sisters from the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon. I am most delighted and excited to make these brief remarks as we bring to a close this year's Land Combat Power demonstration here in Bundase. I do so on behalf of the Minister for Defense, who is unavoidably not be able to be present with here due to other important or equally important commitments as a member of the cabinet. And so he has asked me to express his high commendation for this year's organization, planning, and well executed Land Combat Power demonstration. I attach myself to the sentiments of the Minister for Defense. I have been the commandant of the Ghana Forces Command and Staff College for some period, and I believe that the current commandant will also agree with me that we have had several land combat power demonstration a few years back, but this one is of a difference. I am particularly impressed by the professional disposition and demonstration of skills at arms, particularly of our very young soldiers, the private soldiers from various units. They have demonstrated expert professional skills in the briefings. I was also equally impressed by the exhibition, the demonstration of a tent headquarters, a mobile headquarters, an underground bunker headquarters, and several other innovations that were brought on board, particularly the employment of the surveillance and electronic warfare systems by the Signal Regiment. This year, the tax fell on 2 BN, and they traveled all the way from Takrady to come and support this year's demonstration. Coming from Takrady means that distance is no obstacle. And so whichever unit that you are nominated, you should be able to do it. And so let's give 2BN a big round of applause. Of course, the traditional participants, we have the artillery, the armor, signal, 5BN, and all of you have done marvelously well to make this year's demonstration a huge success. There were some challenges and limitations, particularly with the ammunitions that were expended for the artillery pieces and the howsers. We have Director General PRND, and even the very few rounds that were fired, he was still complaining that we are wasting our bow. I can understand his concern because of the limited quantity of ammo that we have. But I must say that government is doing everything possible to retool and resource the Ghana Armed Forces. You might have heard that a whopping $2.5 billion have been voted for to retool and re-equip all the security agencies for the next 4 years. And so for this year and next year, the Ghana Armed Forces is getting $250 million aside the normal budgetary provisions. And so the Ghana Army has started placing orders for a number of armored vehicles, a number of troop-carrying vehicles. There's also the project to provide parachutes and paratech for the 69 Airborne Force of the Special Forces Brigade. The Navy is also being retooled. The amount for the down payment for the acquisition of offshore patrol vessels 2, in fact, in number, the down payment has been provided, and the Navy is also getting some 4 fast patrol boats. With the Air Force, the project to provide some 6 fighter aircraft, the L-39, and also the repairs and maintenance of the existing aircraft on the inventory of the Ghana Air Force. General procurement provision has been made for the procurement of all nature of ammunition, all weapons. The phase 3 of 37 military hospital, money has been made for it, and a whole other things that will be catered for. And so I see the future of the Ghana Armed Forces as being bright, and with the dexterity and professional posture that troops have demonstrated today, gives me high hopes of a bright future of the Ghana Armed Forces. To the students of course 43, this demonstration serves as a reference point for your future exercises in the college. The employment of the combat unit, the battle group, supported by the combat support elements, artillery, armor, signals, and the rest. And of course, supported by the combat service support. I can see DSC and the catering school providing us with a very good and sumptuous meal after the demonstration. Let's give it up to them. And so the students, I want to conclude by wishing you well for the rest of your course. I hope that this demonstration will serve a good reference point for discussion and also for your tactical exercises in the college in future. In close, bringing my remarks to an end, I want to thank everybody who has made this year's land combat power demonstration a huge success, and I wish you all a safe journey to your units and the various locations. Thank you, and God bless us all.